Bueno amigos, pues hoy tenemos aquí al máximo responsable mundial. Y cuando digo máximo responsable mundial, es que es el máximo responsable mundial ¿de qué? De marketing de Yamaha. Ya que para nosotros, para Zebendrums, es un honor tenerlo aquí, o sea, que se haya venido a España, no solamente a visitar tiendas y a ver un poco todo lo que se mueve en el mundo de la batería aquí en España, sino que encima tenga esa iniciativa de venir aquí a Zebendrums para explicarnos todo lo que sabe de qué, del mundo de la batería, de Yamaha y cómo no, pues también estar aquí con nosotros compartiendo un buen rato. Así que con todos ustedes, Sean Browne. Hello, Sean.
Hello. See you again.
¿Qué te trae por España?
Just finished up the Frankfurt Messe show, where we did the world release for Europe, anyways, for our new Rydeen. I don't know if you had a chance to see the Rydeen videos that we shot with the kids in it. I hope you have a chance to see them. Really fun stuff. Nice to revisit Rydeen. We stopped the line in 2003 and then reintroduced it now with a whole bunch of great new features, shallower tom-toms, more neat colors, really beautiful, bright, vivid colors, which people like to see. So it was nice to see the reaction, and then of course, you know, everybody seeing a recording custom again, and beautiful display, people getting a chance to interact and play stuff, and try new hybrid kits with the triggers on them so they could hear the idea of mixing electronic sounds with acoustic sounds, and just seeing the face of people having a chance to try something for the first time is always just so much fun for me. You know, I really love my job.
Yeah.
So I finished at Frankfurt, then I went to Bilbao, where we had a great Canadian band called Monster Truck was performing. Actually, they did 2 nights in Madrid before that. And the boys rocked, and I went and visited them on the end of their tour. They were in Europe for over 40 days. And now I'm in beautiful Madrid, and I've always dreamed of coming here, and I'm really always love to see beautiful places with amazing history and warm-hearted people, and visiting drum shops and seeing, you know, drummers are the same everywhere, whether I'm in Africa or India or Russia or Europe or America. They all love what they do so much. There's so much passion in this world for drumming, and it's really inspiring for me. So taking this information, going around the world and bringing it all back to Japan and saying these are the trends. You know, we see many different things changing. For instance, like, I think a lot of the young people's attitude right now is that new music sucks. Old music was great, you know, like old rock. Everybody seems to be sort of gravitating back to the old rock sound. And I think they think because old rock was good, then must be old drums are good. So I see a big trend of drummers all going back and wanting an old vintage kit, and it's not really tour worthy, and old kits are beautiful, don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really, but when you got to go out and play every night, those things were, you know, shelved years ago. New drums are made for the punishment of today's drummer and the intensity of today's music. So I see that happening. Everybody's trying to make a kit that looks like it's really old, and there's some nostalgia attached to that, and I get it. But Yamaha, we don't do old, we do new.
Okay.
We improve constantly. We'll never ever ask for permission to change things for the better. Making simpler to tune, make them more projection, durability, consistency. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Most Yamaha customers love to see the wood grain, like the PHX kit that you guys have. And so that's, you know, recognizing trends, seeing what's going on with music, how are music stores doing. People are buying on the internet, and, excuse me, forgetting how fun it is to go into a music store and see and touch and feel, and people don't forget that. The internet is, it's like this big. Just look at it through this little window. There's a big, beautiful world out there, and to me, it's just getting bigger as opposed to smaller. And I hope I answer your question.
¿Cómo va la celebración del 50 aniversario de Yamaha?
Yeah. So, 1967, the founder of Yamaha drums went over to the United States, and he bought everything. He bought everything, and he brought it back over to Japan and looked at everything really carefully and said, how can we make it better? And 1975, we released the YD 9000, which became a legendary instrument, and since then, a number of different lines, stage custom and PHX and tour custom, rock, tour custom, all the different lines that we came out with. And that was all, you know, we look at the 50 years of history, lots of companies are 50, 60, 70, 100 years old. And I think what we really try to think more about is our next 50 years. Mm-hmm. Now where are we going? Now what do we want to do? We did, for our 50th anniversary, release 2 hybrid kits, 2 absolute maple hybrid sets. One in a sort of quilted maple and one in a bird's eye maple. There's only 100, sorry. I think pretty well all of them were gone about 3 days after the Mesta show was over, so make them special for the people who purchased them. They're just really beautiful, gold lugs. You can see them online. What's happening next is really, I'm lucky to be part of. I was just in Cuba with Daphne Prieto, shooting video at a really cool festival, the Festival del Tambor. Sorry, Fiesta del Tambor in
Fiesta
Havana.
del Tambor, sí, sí.
And there's like 40 drummers on the stage.
Wow.
And just the passion of Cuban music and just the excitement of that. And we have a very special prototype drum set. I flew from Toronto with the drums down to Cuba, and we shot this video with Daphnis, and it's being processed now. The product will be launched on July 13th, and that's all I can tell you at the Summer NAMM show. But I can tell you that these are better drums for better drummers.
Yeah.
These are fantastic new things that we've been working on. And subsequently throughout the year, we'll be launching a number of different products, both electronic and acoustic, because we do both, obviously. And yeah, I think you're going to be really excited about what we've got to show you.
Ya que hemos hablado de la Ride-In, hemos hablado de la Stay Custom, Bebop, ¿vale? ¿Qué diferencias habrían entre lo que sería la Ride-In, ¿vale? La Ride-In anterior y la Stay Custom Bebop?
Okay, the original Ride-In had a Philippine mahogany shell, a thin Philippine mahogany shell. And the core kit was a 22 with a 10 by 8, 12 by 9, and a 14 floor tom. And a lot of people thought at that time that was a little strange, a 14-inch floor tom with a 22-inch kit. But you know, we were manufacturing in Indonesia at that time. Now that we've moved into our new facility that we're working with in China, which is the same factory where we make stage custom, by the way, we've gone to a poplar shell. And with the poplar shell, we found that we tried testing it with a wooden hoop and with a metal hoop, and found no clear difference in the sound. So we decided to put a metal hoop on, which is a little easier to manufacture, and so that's one big difference between the original Ride-In. You know, although that's the original specification, we're always concerned about sound first. So it's released in 6 colors instead of only 5. Hot red, mellow yellow, fine blue, black glitter, silver glitter, and burgundy glitter. There are 2 configurations in the new kit. There's a 22 with a 10 by 7, so it's shallower, so kids can get the toms lower, so it's easier to play than try to hit it like up here. And with a 16 by 15 floor tom. And then there's also a 20 by 16 with a 10 by 7, 12 by 8, and 14 by 13 floor tom. Good snare drum with a real Yamaha throw-off, all metal pieces. Good quality beaded claws, all Yamaha style throw-offs. Has a dual tom mount, which is again a Yamaha original from the Ride-In series. There's a good projection, good sound. It's like, that's going to be a professional drum set in some countries like Africa and Russia. You know, we look at the price difference in Europe or the United States compared to those countries where things are very expensive to move there. I think even a pro would be pretty happy sitting on these kits with a good set of heads on them, for sure. Yeah, it has a P3 bass drum head too, so it's like got a nice point. And what's cool is that the whole kit comes in one box, so that the customer or player can choose what kind of hardware they want. So they could go with a 600 really light series pack, or a 700, which has more flexibility with moving the bits and pieces around. Or go with a double braced 800 series, probably not, but so that variable allows for more flexibility within that product line. And you know, Raiden means the god of thunder, right? The Japanese god of thunder. And it has actually been an imagery that's been in Yamaha. I don't think people recognize. If you look at posters from the 80s, they had a picture of Raiden on it. So he's always sort of been a mascot for Yamaha drums since its inception. And so check it out. If you look at old brochures and stuff, you'll see this little guy with all the drums around him like that, and this old image. It's really neat. I think that's going to be my tattoo.
Llevas el tema de batería electrónica. ¿Cuál sería la tendencia que se lleva ahora mismo con todo el tema este, ya que estamos viendo una evolución de lo que es la batería acústica frente a la batería electrónica? ¿Cuál sería la tendencia? ¿Qué es lo que está llamando un poquito más la atención?
The trend, I mean, electronic drums, like nobody wants to play electronic drums. I mean, it's nice to be able to play drums.
Yeah.
When you live in an apartment or you live in a basement, you're a drummer. You want to play drums, and it's great that they're good enough and sensitive enough. But you know, as the whole market gets flooded with them, I think that everyone who played them just realized this is a very, very close but not fair substitution of playing an acoustic drum. Just tapping it with your finger, hearing it bounce off the walls, hearing it in your heart, and it's an organic thing. And I think this world is already saying, you know what, that's enough of electronics. We have to walk around with these attached to our body all day, you know. So we see a worldwide trend of electronic drums are sort of stabilizing. At one point, like for the last couple of years, the sales have been way higher on electronic drums. And I visited just stores here, and I was in France, or I was in Germany, or here in Madrid yesterday, and they all said, what's happening with electronic drum sales? You know, and there's so many great electronic drum companies coming out with great stuff. Roland's got beautiful, you know, gorgeous high-end stuff, but the consumer, I think generally, is just saying, I want to play real drums.
Yeah.
Whether it's an old messed up piece of crap with 9 different colors, or whether it's, you know, whatever brand they love, or it's just we're just seeing, for us international, we're just seeing all of a sudden a huge rise, and even a huge rise in more expensive kits. And people want to buy a better drum set, you know? And so I'm thankful that we make them. But yeah, it's electronic drums, and you can do so many cool things. They've got a metronome built in. You can download your own sounds. One trend we are seeing too, or we're trying to give drummers some option, is, and you're going to be seeing some new products from us in the fall that are going to really stretch this out, is taking your acoustic drums and using triggers, like the DT50S, DT50K that we just launched, and making it so that your drum set can be, you know, augmented with a for instance, a DTX 502 module. You plug it right in there, and you hit it, and you can start adding effects, and your whole band will turn around and look at you and go, what? Your kick drum sounds so huge, your snare drum's got so much aggression, and one button press and it can sound totally different. So you can have great acoustic drums, feel the sound coming off of it, but you can also push so much sound into the audience. So the concept of hybrid drumming is some very realistic thing for modern music, and I think when drummers catch on to it for live situations, they're going to definitely realize the advantage.
Bueno, Sean, mencionabas antes el tema del NAM del verano, el Summer NAM. ¿Hay alguna novedad que me puedas decir sin tenerme que matar?
Well, I'm required by Yamaha Japan to not give too much information because we need to leave some excitement for the actual beginning of the show at Nashville. And I hope you come. Nashville's really neat city, really neat place. Lots of musical history there. July 13th, we will be launching a brand new line of drums. The one that I was mentioning, we were shooting with Daphnis Prieto. Oh. We also did a video in Toronto with 5 amazing drummers. I'll mention their names. Mark Kelso, Sarah Thawer, Marito Marquez, Effa Etroma Jr., and Mr. Mark McLean. These are all long-time friends of Yamaha. And we shoot a video of the 5 of them playing together at a club called the Lula Lounge, which is a Latin club in Toronto, which is just spectacular. We went to a candy factory. We went on snowmobiles way up northern Canada into the forest. Look at big old trees.
Tenemos que ir.
Traveled all over the world. Our videos will be released in Spanish, in Portuguese, in Hindi, in French, Italian. So Yamaha's the world's drum company. You know, we're not Southern California's drum company or London's drum company. This is the drums for the world. So I think it's cool that drummers can see what drummers are doing in all the other places. Yeah. Because they're all the same. They're all working hard. They're moving their equipment, taking care of their stuff. Their passion is exactly the same, whether you live in a big, huge city or in the country or in a, in a place that's torn apart by revolution and war. And that's kind of why we wanted to go to Cuba, to see like this country is transforming itself. Yeah. And it's still, there's no black Cubans or Chinese Cubans or Arabic Cubans. They're Cubans. Yeah. They're people. That's it. So let's stop dividing and let's start getting together. Mm-hmm. Drums is a good way to do that, I think. So I'm sorry I can't give you much more information. Okay.
Okay.
But I think you'll like what we see.
Bueno, Sean, ¿qué te parece que te hayamos recibido en Zebendrums con la PHX, que es el buque insignia de Yamaha?
Gracias. Gracias. I love those drums, the PHX. What a lot of people maybe don't know, our PHX is made in a laboratory in Japan. It's not even a factory. It's like a laboratory. And when we explore sound, PHX is the beginning of the birth of everything we're doing with Maple Hybrid and the new adjustments of the Yes series to the Yes 2 and now the Yes 3 system. And the idea is that if you have a cylinder, okay, a drum, and Yes goes into the nodal point. That's the dead point of the drum. So that is a actual, Yamaha didn't invent that. So if you hold a stick from the top, you get click, click. But if you move it down to about 24%, it goes gung, gung. You'll hear an actual tone. So that's where we came with the nodal point. What we discovered was when we put a third hole inside there, it lowered the fundamental again. And then when we took the lugs off that point, it lowered the fundamental there. So your 10-inch tom actually sounds more like a 12. Right? It's lots of low and heavy, huge projection. And then super strong Jatoba in the middle, sandwiched by Kapur, then sandwiched by maple. So super heavy, little lighter, little lighter. It's like a guitar string. If you just have one single string, you go click, click, but you wrap it with soft, it goes boom, creates the vibration. So that shell is always moving. Even though it's a very heavy drum, it is totally breathing. And these sonics, these things that we get so involved in watching the waveforms, watching the actual reaction of the drums, there are some drummers who hate that. They want drums that are dead. Yeah. That's their sound. That's totally cool. But we challenge anybody to come up with something that sounds huge, more big than VHX. Yeah. That's our flagship. And they are ferocious drums. Some drummers just say, I can't even handle that. Yeah. And we get it, but we want to be the company by which all other companies are judged. And that's we're not going to apologize for that. We're always going to try to stretch it, try to do something new and cool, Usually it takes people a long time to finally go, oh, I didn't realize how good that was. But I guess that's why they hired me.
Okay, Sean, thank you so much.
Gracias.
Gracias por venir aquí a Zebendrums y nos vemos muy pronto.
Yeah, until next time.
Bueno amigos, pues hasta aquí el vídeo de hoy. Espero que os haya gustado y si eso es así, recuerda, dale a like, comenta y comparte. Ya sabes que puedes poner tus comentarios en la parte de abajo.